Hi, it's Amy from Blackberry and Pine and from Our Kitchen to Yours. Today we're gonna show you guys how we do banana bread. And in my family, we go through a lot of bananas, and I prefer a banana that's still got green on it. Once the green goes away, I'm not having anything to do with it until it turns this color. So it's almost completely brown, and you could like squish the insides and just like it just all explode out the end. But we are gonna make banana bread today, and the first couple of steps, I've peeled the bananas. We're just gonna set this guy over here. I've peeled the bananas and I've got 3 in a bowl. We're gonna post the recipe online, but I will tell you the measurements and the amounts. So we've got 3 bananas in the bowl, and this is gonna make either 1 loaf or it's gonna make a dozen muffins, and we're gonna do muffins today. So here we go. We took the 3 bananas, we took a stick of butter melted, and a cup and 1/8 of a cup of sugar, and we blended and creamed that all together. So you have like all your wet ingredients here, except for one thing. We're gonna add just 2 tablespoons of buttermilk. And yes, buttermilk, it makes a difference. Don't just use regular milk. It's really thick, and it's kind of got a tang to it, and it creates a better crumb texture than just like regular milk. So if something says buttermilk, there's a reason, and it's about the texture of a baked good. So we're gonna put this over here, and we're gonna add a splash of vanilla. I just always pour it in the cap, it's just easier that way. And I got this vanilla from a good friend, and it's pure vanilla from Mexico, I think. Anyways, so I'm gonna finish creaming that together real quick. Kind of splashing all over the place. And we're gonna add 2 cups of cake flour. So you can do all purpose. I prefer cake because it lends to a better texture. And this banana bread recipe, it's dense and it's moist, but depending on how you measure your flour out and what kind of flour you use, you could end up with kind of a more chewy and almost like gluey banana bread if you're not careful with how you're measuring your flour and what flour you use. So I prefer a cake flour because it kind of, it really prevents that gluey texture. So there's 2 cups there. And then in this jar, we've got a teaspoon of baking soda, and baking soda helps brown things. We have a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, which helps lift things. And then we have a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, which flavors things. So, got that. We're just gonna finish mixing this at a lower speed so stuff doesn't fly everywhere. Which I like to do things really fast all the time. So I've learned my lesson with cooking. If you give things a little bit of patience, they turn out better. So I'm not actually gonna blend this so that it's like a smooth. We kind of want a little bit of a chunky batter, and mixing it lower helps that. You don't want to overmix it, and we'll give you a little look at how this looks. So now we're going to fill these lined muffin tins, and we're gonna cook this actually at 350 degrees for about 10 to 12 minutes. Some people like a more well-done muffin. I don't know, my oven, I feel like everyone's oven varies, so you're just gonna have to watch them. I'm gonna put it in, and we're gonna start at 10 minutes. So I'm just gonna fill these guys about 3/4 of the way full, and just keep moving through. Okay, so I lied. This recipe actually makes 12 muffins and 1 loaf pan. So I just greased this, and I'm just gonna take the rest of this batter. So it's your preference. You could do either 2 loaf pans, or you could do what I'm doing. I'm doing a loaf and muffins, or you could just do 24 muffins. So, trying to get this spatula up. There we go. Okay, so again, 350-degree oven for about 10 minutes. I'm gonna put all this in at the same time, rotate it, because that's how my oven works, and we will show you what it looks like when it's finished. Okay, so I just took the muffins out of the oven. The loaf pan is still in there baking. These again were cooked on a 350-degree oven, and these took about 10 minutes in my oven. I did have to turn the pan a couple times, and I just know they're done when they spring back and they don't have a little, my finger doesn't stay dented, I guess, I don't know. I don't know what else. Another thing I like to do with my banana bread is sometimes I'll add cinnamon. I feel like cinnamon to me is the hug of all like fall spices. And so if you want to give your muffins a little warmth, take some cinnamon and add like a half a teaspoon to the batch. Another thing I like to do is add chocolate chips. And if your batter, if you want the chocolate chips to be inside and not just on top, usually I just put the chocolate chips on top on my loaf pan or in the muffins. If you want it in the batter, here's a little quick trick. Oh! Here's a little quick tip. Go ahead and toss your chocolate chips in some all-purpose flour, because what will happen is that flour attaches to the outside of the chocolate chip. It might even look like after you've tossed them, there's nothing on them, but there's a fine little layer. And then slowly fold those chocolate chips into your batter, and then they'll suspend themselves and hold themselves where they land as you pour it into the bowl, and not just all sink, or not the bowl, the loaf pan or the muffin tins. And they won't just all sink to the bottom. And my sister actually gave me that quick little tip a couple years ago. Anyways, from our kitchen to yours, banana bread, make it. And if you do make it, share your recipe and tag us. Have a great weekend, you guys.